All right, guys, we are live. We are live. Peace, peace, peace. I have a fascinating guest. I was thinking about doing this interview months back. Tinkerton. Tinkerton was one of the earliest people I stumbled upon from Portland. He is a multi generational Portland resident. Um, he was actually by the Portland Ice Facility before it even blew up and became a worldwide phenomenon known in places like Canada, where I'm from. And the floor is yours, Tinkerton. How are you doing? We are actually looking at Tinkerton right now from yesterday's uh, Portland Ice Facility live stream. And here's Tinkerton
To
right
start
underneath
off
me.
by saying again, thank you, Boq, for this opportunity. Going back to yes, again, it's something I've been wanting to just try to make sure that we can sit down, that we can just as much have this talk. Uh, in any way, it's finding the time. It's the manner of how things just as much got busy. But again, the thing in my head kind of sounded off. Hey, it's kind of a quiet night. And so I was like, let's see what we can do and just as much try to put that on your agenda if it was up to you. And I'm thankful. Again, we're just as much going to say thank you, Boq, and thank you to the Boq Precision community. I've enjoyed coming and kind of hanging in the chat. I've been enjoying just as much like knowing that content's getting out there. I want to kind of just try to start off that to put it into again what is a Tinkerton, or what does this mean? And I just hope people can possibly understand that it's an old school name that was created for me, essentially back in 2004 when I was sitting with my friends creating our World of Warcraft characters. I didn't exactly know what to name my little gnome mage, and one of my friends again said, "You're Tinkerton. That's your name. That's your persona. That's your imagery that you kind of entail."
Just keep talking, Tinkerton. I am setting up the stream and posting it everywhere on Reddit and Facebook, etc., etc. Basically,
So
I want you to tell our audience who you are, your background, your. Remember our conversation on Discord? You spoke about your grandfather's engineering background, everything.
So let me go into that again. The thing that just as much inspired me to go down there was I guess I'm gonna say again the stream you guys were watching yesterday. I had this computer hardware. I wanted to understand it. I wanted to make it work. And I just was like, where is there something worthwhile to try to again get the video footage home and then try to expand into me learning how to edit to a point, or that's kind of a future goal. I was recording some of the parades in Portland. I was recording the fireworks show for 4th of July. And the manner that I started hearing or seeing that journalists were having conflict down there, I was like, well, let's go. So the first thing that just really got me down there again, I have to say, was seeing female journalists attacked. I do not believe that was fair in any manner, that in any way it comes down to that someone's holding a camera, that's their livelihood, that's their way of business. And these again, Antifa, that's 100% what I really want people to believe that they are, whether they are minuscule compared to 2020 or not. There's aspects of violence, there's aspects of attacking others. That same direction, I guess I go into is I got to stand by Katie Davis Court. I got to stand by Ryan Amherst. I saw Honey Badger Mom on some occasions. Saw Velly Ray come out. And in any manner, I guess I'm going to expand into that 2 days before Tommy Boy 420, Tommy Boy Freedom, again, that amazing patriot that we love here in Portland, had his first TKO. Essentially, as I met Tommy, I wore my wetsuit and I wore a black bow tie. And I guess I hope not to make it be a a disgraceful imagery. I'm going to throw out the gentlemen dressed their very best. And again, I kind of will say it was meant to be a respect to Charlie Kirk. It was meant to come out, if I could, in a full suit. But that time in the summer, it was still very, very hot.
Right.
So
This began in the summer, right? Like Charlie
yes,
Kirk was still
June.
alive.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
June is when, and I'm wanting to say the manner of that people were there. I believe it just started escalating. It started becoming again property damage. It started becoming again the attacking the federal building, and the story that I feel anybody who comes out just wants to ignore, not immediately the patriots, is again that stop signs were being broken down, used as battering rams in the front doors before the glass was covered with boards. And again, they were also, to my understanding, stealing or commandeering, I guess is the word I'll use, trash dumpsters. And again, pushing them into the gate, using them as barricades as they work their way closer and closer to that federal building. And in any way, the attacks, the violence is what got me out there. I didn't want to see that just get buried. Thought process just as much goes into that. Again, I 100% have a passion, a deep connection for Portland, and I do not want to see the beauty lost. The story that I ramble on, I kind of think I mentioned a little bit in stream last night, is going to be that, again, my grandfather in 1970 and 1973, he was a VP for the company that lifted the Fremont Bridge. The context that, yeah, it took 3 years to do that, but that was a world record. That was the largest arch span bridge lifted, and it took China up until 2025 to be able to break that record.
Okay. Wow. So basically, it's been holding up for a good quarter century.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And that.
Do you see that? Do you see that question I pulled up on chat?
I do see.
I don't even know who Teddy is, but apparently you have a battle with this guy. What's going on with Teddy?
We've had some conflicts with Teddy, and I have to say, I think we've buried some hatchets there because I thought a manner of a little trolly. I'm gonna say that I don't want to. I do think there are a couple others that I have interpreted as kind of being trolly, and I believe I've worked to kind of go through, unblock, unexercise that communication and try to reopen those doors to see how again we can coexist, because that's what's important. I hope to point out there's not going to be any change, or I'm throwing out a saying again, unless someone cares an awful lot, nothing will change. It just not. And yeah, the Lorax, again, it kind of comes down to it. If we don't care and people are just so aggravated and violent, again, coming together is never going to happen. I will try to, again, just throw back out. If there is anybody who feels like I misinterpreted you, I want to apologize. I want to go in and try to apologize in a manner of when you read words next to hearing words and how someone communicates with you, there's a reinterpretation, there's a reanalyzing what's going on. So I hope to kind of issue an apology to Teddy, because we've had good conversations. We've been in some of the spaces together. And again, I'll say there are other people I believe who are still following me that just haven't totally abandoned. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful to be able to mend those.
Yeah. And going back to you, Tinkerton, you're a very tech savvy guy. In our one-on-one private conversation in Discord, you've even offered to give me a direct hookup to your encoder so that I get a direct feed. And I appreciate this. And if there's anyone who is someone I trust with a steady, reliable feed, it's you. How long have you been interested in techie stuff? You said your name itself came from 2004. So What's your background there?
So I have to start with my first time touching a computer is going to go into the context. If anybody knows about the very first portable compact computer, this was literally like a briefcase. I guess I would almost call it like a piece of luggage you get on the airplane with. Again, it had the little click down keyboard. It had the little green screen monitor and the two 5 1/4 floppies, playing Wheel of Fortune and Maniac Mansion. And I guess I want to tell that as story. Again, I guess growing up with Vanna White, flipping the letters again. Maniac Mansion is a story. LucasArts, same people that made Star Wars, and you have so many different stories that just resonate with us, and it I'm going to say it builds our personality.
What's a good one, Faris?
To step forward again, kind of jump into that. Again, what the next direction is going to be just as much. When I first got my hands on a dial-up modem, I was playing Trade Wars 2002. It's a text-based game back in the day. It's like a space travel, almost like Elite Dangerous, without the graphic art, without the whole digital graphical interface. It's the reading something and then again choosing what you're going to do next. Again, the old choose your own adventure books. It moved from kind of, again, understanding how kind of modems work, and then and let's just try to I want to try to separate that from, again, call it common internet. Again, back in the day, people might not understand that you just had these little places, these little businesses that you called in with your dial-up modem, and the only people that you were really talking to were the people that called into the same place. It's not the exact example of full internet worldwide right now. That we have this manner that, again, I'm going to step the forward direction, that when I first will say I got on the internet was in 1995, surfing lego.com in my 5th grade classroom. Part of my English grade, I was required to key pal, just like you would pen pal. Back in the day, you write letters and mail it off and then wait months for a response. Again, I was key palling with a South African all-girls school. And again, a lot of my other classmates, we were assigned the classmates that were in that same class. Again, I want to believe it was the same age range, again, 5th graders, 1995. And at that point, again, it's the understanding how the distance can be closed and that communication can be much faster, much freaking more instantaneous. And I guess I'm going to try to put the stance for a second again, how, yeah, I have experience with like being in AOL back in the day. Spent a lot of time in that type, AOL Instant Messenger, chatting with the friends.
Just changing it up a little bit because Hogwatcher asked this question.
I saw
you and Spin City, tell us about what kind of fallout you had and if you've worked out your differences.
At this point, there has not been a settling things with Spin City. I am going to tell you again, there's a way that I would openly work to fix it. I am openly going to talk about where I believe I made some faults, and in any way what I do have a fault against him. It's the example. I will hope that people in the community might understand that we have internet outages left and right. We have Cloudflare problems, or I guess I'm going to call that being the core part of the internet, of how the internet works. It's all relay servers, or again, big data center systems that keep us all connected. The day before anything hit the fan, again, the next morning, just as much we were seeing the entire Cloudflare outage. The experience that I thought I was going through was being denied communication, being refused to try to, again, put in, I guess I want to say, pieces to the puzzle. Ryan Amherst was in his spaces, and I wanted to try to run over with Ryan things that I had seen while we were both down there, to share with the community, to be able to make sure, hey, I believe one of the first things that I saw was I'm going to describe it as dealership vehicles. Again, that somebody who is more or less a seller of cars was borrowing cars with no license plate, no identifiable tags, and they were dropping off mutual aid to the Antifa camp before it was shut down. And I'm believing this was early August. Again, it was very, very right in the beginning. I saw this and I was like, this seems fishy. Connecting into a manner how some of the narrative was controlled by their live streamers, their TikTokers, and that's half of how they got. I think I jumped off the subject, but the trying to realign with the direction that Spin City and I had this conflict. I thought, again, I was being mistreated. And so I'm going to explain. I got a little emotional. I got upset. There was this next step to be able to try to bury the hatchet with him. And I have to explain that my footage was already being used on his YouTube channel. I had, again, authorized him for full restream capabilities. In any way, the step when I try to say, hey, again, I'm trying to continue. The only thing that I feel, which I guess I'm going to try to pull out, this was my little first tripod. And it's this little broken handheld thing that I had the camera on. And my background remover is gonna. So I'm trying to point out that I have a much better tripod now, but I'll also explain that when I asked for anything, I didn't mean to ask it directly from Spin City's pocket. I meant to ask that the community was aware that this is a piece of equipment that would help me make life better and be able to, again, have a better experience.
This is mine.
Yes, sir. I got you there. That's a good tool. Especially it's got to be whole. I guess I will say I was using something that was kind of halfway dead already, or it was already gone to a point. So the step that just as much when I tried to DM him this, I did not just go in his space and say, Spin City, you need to do this for me. You need to give me this. I tried to communicate in the DMs. Okay, I've been told you guys want to support me. I've been told you are, again, willing. And that manner that I tried to make it known of an item, I tried to build an Amazon wish list that he informed me to do so. He advised me and recommended me to do so. When I put that item on the list, the manner of, again, the conflict the night before, me trying to ask for that, it turned into, again, my name being called or my name being thrown through the mud. Retaliation that I have since gone through is pursuing takedowns on his YouTube channel for my content.
And it's funny because someone reliable that I trust told me that Spin has it out for me. And not that I needed any confirmation, but I entered a X space that Spin was hosting and I got insta-booted. And this is after I gave him the courtesy of an interview and a platform to give his. He's got beefs with other people, legal. Like, I gave him a platform and was all respectful. I know there's a campaign that can be done publicly because I'm like presenting myself as a nice guy. You look like an absolute jerk doing this publicly. I know there's an underhanded campaign to get rid of me. But it's not going to work, guys. And anything underhanded doesn't work, period. All right? It will fall back in your faces. So I can relate when you talk about, I can relate with that, Tink. And Jesse basically just posted a link. We can look at that after. But apparently there was an altercation. It wasn't bloody, but the guy... holding it under one arm and fighting. Wow.
To connect into the same manner of writing that again, I'm in the boat that I'm just as much. I would love to settle it. I would love to be able to make sure that, hey, future connection can continue. I want to back up into the thought process is that Spin City did do a lot for the Patriots. I want to again respect that I was fed on some of that food that was sent, but it was Tommy that's the one that said, here, again, get yourself able to continue. Make sure again that you are taken care of. It is not in any way, I guess I say, to insult what choice Spin City did to support the Patriots, but I'm going to only lay back out a conflict that, yes, has come to my attention, is that some people, again, are obviously saying that money was provided to Spin City for the Portland Patriots. I'm not going to name names, but I'm understanding there's a good chance some of that money that was meant for Portland was used to buy someone a computer who has no connection to Portland. And again, I guess if I'm wrong, then it is what it is. But it's the example that it seems that there is, again, mismanagement. That's one of the big red flags after the fact that, again, I wish the community to make their own decision.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, let the community consensus be the final judge. Okay, I have some photos I should have shared from your initial period or your initial time in the Iceland facilities. You were assaulted, and you showed me the aftermath of your injuries. Let me see if I
Yes, sir.
do. I have that here. Hold on. Oh no, I can't. I don't want to do it because I'd be sharing some private DMs after. You know what?
Can respect.
Can you share? Can you share it on your screen?
I do. Well, I'm gonna say I didn't build a scene in that. There is one picture I guess I did build a scene in, and it's the solidifying, again, I guess, my connection to Portland. I would openly show and try to connect into that. My grandfather, when I was born, gave me a brick, or what can I say? He paid for a brick that essentially was put into Pioneer Courthouse Square. And I guess I'll throw out there that when these people get so mad, again, I tell them, you're already going to sit there and mess with someone who's immortalized in stone. My name will not go anywhere in the manner of Portland. It's going to remain there. And again, I guess the same example is going to be, I don't want to see this city fall. I don't want to see our landmarks, our businesses destroyed. Again, even the residential companies, I don't think that, again, the apartment buildings should be losing tenants, losing business because of what's happening down there. Kind of writing, I guess I want to say, a historical manner again. It's to talk about, again, the growing up, the grandfather who, again, was the architect, 1993. I would go to work with him, and I'd hang out in the shipyards following him as he was, doing business, more or less. I remember walking through some of the warehouses and seeing like old walkie-talkies and just being like, Grandpa, can I play with this? And he's like, sure. And so I had one of the old, call it CB radios, big, heavy duty, almost like the old cell phones, and just turning it on, putting batteries in it, turning it on, and walking around, changing the channels, hearing what I could hear. That was intriguing to me. And the same manner of, it was also possibly that, hey, Grandpa had a meeting he had to go to. So I'd sit in his office making phone calls to my girlfriends at the time, or I'd sit there and again play on a computer. Reader Rabbit, Maniac Mansion, Wheel of Fortune, those types of old school games. Stepping forward to, again, you've got historical businesses that are no longer around. I'm going to shout out Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor for anybody who had a birthday in that area, who knows that type of historical experience. And I guess I also have to throw out Lloyd Center. The Lloyd Center Mall used to be the go-to hangout after school. Go to the arcade, go check out the game store, KB Toys. And again, we have so many businesses disappearing. And I'm even jumping forward to when TriMet, the max was put in. I was in a daycare for, I want to say, summertime, watching the train tracks in front of the convention center be put in. The Memorial Coliseum, going to monster truck rallies. And again, the future being that now we've got the Rose Garden being where all of our Portland Trailblazers, all of our sports events are there. I see the question, and I respect Hogwatcher. I love that, man. Again, chit chat. We've chit chatted. I want to explain. I took on a personal. Okay, let's try to. I want to time this, and I will answer the question. Because the thing that we were going into again is just as much the attack on me. That attack happened September 6th. We lost Charlie on September 10th. And the thing that got to me was just as much when I realized some of that imagery that was used in the people glorifying the attacks. Essentially, it had trans ideology flags all over it. A business, a pot shop that I frequented had a trans flag in the window, and I was just like, it would be nice at this time if you would put up an American flag. I wasn't trying to tell them immediately that they had to do anything about the trans flag, but when I was pretty much denied and like I was stared out of that business, and I would try to explain I was a customer for like the past 5 years when this situation happened. Going into that, the day we lost Charlie, I believe there are so many of us in shock. There were so many of us who just didn't want to believe it was true. We again wanted to pray that Charlie was okay and safe. I am going to turn this into that. I believe again he was lifted up by the hands of God, and in any way, I just hoped again that man did not have to suffer in any way. It was tragic. I had to again black myself out, or the manner of, call it, erase for the moment as best as possible, deal with emotions, and then look to move forward. So what I'm going to again is that when I went to management at that business, I essentially was again like, this is connected to the very same calls for violence. And again, I was just totally ignored. I was essentially looked at like I was crazy and stupid in a sense. I essentially was 86 from the property. I was told that I cannot come back. The step that I then pursued was to contact the district sales manager for Oregon and that business. And I was told that should have never been used in their window. It was not part of their corporate. Again, it is a corporate entity, that pot shop. And it's the manager, the one single person who made the choice to allow that to fly. Today, I'll tell you that item, that object has been removed from that store, but I have still stood there on time to time trying to enlighten, trying to get one person to rethink what they're doing and what they're supporting. And I'm not saying that I don't like my weed. I'm just going to say that I'm now choosing to support better businesses that love our country. On one of those occasions, I was standing there. A customer went in the door and then came out and immediately came at me face to face. The thing that he grabbed as a weapon was the traffic cone. So he had this traffic cone that I showed, and I'm believing again, some people have an understanding, and he
they were asking in the chat
as if he was going to use it as a hammer. That's what I guess I want to describe. It became me getting it out of the guy's hands, and then it became a rolling around on the ground. I took some blows to the forehead. I did suffer a little bit of a bump and a black eye, but in the rolling, I got the guy's hair and his face went to the sidewalk. And I do believe that man went to jail in Clackamas County. I just don't have any other details of how long, or again, whether or not he suffered any type of assault charges. I would honestly also describe to you that he tried to strangle me. He didn't try to do the hand. He tried to do a fist directly on my throat to choke me out. And in any way, at that point, I had no restraint in the manner of what I chose to do to be able to end it, make sure that we could separate. And I'm very, again, happy to say that 3 people witnessed the interaction and gave statements to law officers.
Good. Good. And explain what happened to your eye. It looks like
and that's going to be separating the two altercations. Again, the direction that we're just as much going into is going to be, again, I'm going to try to say I'm a smoker of weed. I enjoy my little beers here and there. I don't imbibe and call it any other directions, and I just as much want to work to get some of those choices under control. It's the example that I again was down there September 6th with my video setup. I didn't send you the picture, for example, of the broken camera, but in the videos that I have provided, and I do believe I've linked on my X feed, some people have seen, again, the camera had already been cut, and I was walking around with the wire showing that it was a level cut. It wasn't frayed wires. It wasn't that I had overstretched a wire. I'm going to try to describe to the audience that I stand at 6'2", and the wire was 5 feet long. So my arm span should be 3.1 feet per arm. How do you break a 5-foot cable when you, again, can only reach 3.5 or 3.1 from my backpack to my arm? That's the situation that I wish to describe. Is they got behind me without my realizing it. They cut with some sort of knife, some sort of wire cutters. And at that point, when I again was like, look at you guys did, look at what you're part of, look that you guys are trying to control the narrative because you can't accept that somebody else is out here with a camera. And again, in the video footage, you see one person coming at me because of the clips that were cut. Again, I believe someone was not capturing the full interaction. So you have a cut happening, and then all of a sudden there are 4 people on me, and there is also one underneath the camera point of view coming at me after I'm pepper sprayed. The thing that you're talking about is I do still at this point kind of have a sty in my left eye, and it was a lot more pissed off because of that pepper spray.
Ouch. Okay, can we move on? There's somebody in the chat who's kind of being a pain in the ass. What's your take on Travis Dewar? He's in the chat right now, Nomad PDX. What's up with this guy?
Oh, Travis. Emotional stability, accountability. I'm not even going to put down, I could care less about calling you stolen valor. Again, I'm going to tell you that we're almost the same age. I'm an ex-lifeguard. So any manner of superiority, I'm sorry, this man's going to I'll look him in the eye and we'll talk one-to-one. I don't care his little superiority complex. Again, if you think you can lie about your service, Travis, that's really on you. That's between you and your creator. But again, I'm going to turn back to that. I kick myself in an example that I wish I could have kind of made a choice with my future. Again, what I had learned, what I had gone through being a lifeguard, to actually choose to be part of the Coast Guard, because that would have been just as much the brotherhood of the patriots that I received today. The abysmal direction is how this man handles himself down there. Yeah, Nomad PD. Okay, Travis, I see you. I could care less you want to say I'm balding, because this is my 5 head, and again, my grandfather gave it to me. It is a trademark.
I have a 5 head too.
It is. We got it. Again, I'm just going to embrace it. I'll tell you also, again, I let myself Santa Claus out. I could, again, accept if anybody wants to call me a little homeless beard right now, but there are a lot of people down there that couldn't grow a beard as manly as this. So we're gonna just put out, Travis, again. I've got no problem standing you toe to toe, or again looking you in the eyes and telling you the accountability that you will receive. We're not going to get derogatory. It's the same manner we saw what happened the other night. You drove by me yesterday, and your little threats. We're not afraid of you, Travis.
I witnessed
We're
it.
not afraid.
I witnessed it.
Let's see here, and I'm seeing whom. Well, I don't know. I don't know what he's saying there. We'll kind of put it at that. The manners is to put out that I am going to put. I don't want to go. I guess I don't want to touch that. We'll put out that there are things that I have today that if I chose to be a lifeguard, they wouldn't be around today. I guess that's the manner. I can't change that past. I have to, again, think of, okay, what is the benefit for my life right now? And I have to turn back into a manner that sitting and playing video games to a point, it was kind of tearing me down, and being there by the Patriots now where I am, it's been a lifting hand that, again, I'm so thankful for. Just as much to have this opportunity to again talk to the community and have a connection with you, Boq. We are so far to a point, but this brings us close. The direction I want to just as much touch on is again that example of Charlie. I never met him one-on-one. It's we again were dealing with COVID. We were dealing with the shut-in, and so much of us were seeing the content. We were seeing his interviews with the kids on college campuses, and I go back to how much it resonated with all of us. Travis, show me you're mentally unstable without telling me.
He's apparently laughing as people are telling him that you're going to face feds. Jesse was just telling him that feds are going to pay him a visit, and he's just ha 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 ha.
Yes. Again, how do you think Freya felt when Freya apparently bit good? Freya bit good, Jennifer bit good, whatever you want to call her, or it. Again, we believe, or we know that it was said that they got a call from the FBI before the arrest and before the, again, maybe it doesn't have an ankle monitor, but it sure has to check in. That's the manner of what I understand. And Travis, that's what you're earning for yourself.
Jeannie posted a GoFundMe started by Travis's wife. What's your take on that? And what do you think is going on with Travis's family life? Apparently, Travis claims that people are harassing his wife and messing with his family. And his wife is developing PTSD from all the people messing with Travis and the family. Do you think there's any truth to that, or he's just making it up?
I think he needs to accept his accountability for, again, harassing children. Again, that there are young patriots that he has been taking part of. I know he's been harassing women. I know that, again, he's been jumping around many of the female streamers, or, again, news journalists, let's turn it to that, journalists that, again, are down there. So all I could say to Travis's wife, if you're listening, if you're hearing this, understand that level of accountability that your husband is a child. Your husband can't accept his own choices. I know and I understand that their relationship has been broken, or there was a time of separation that we're aware of. So honestly, go back and ask yourself, why did that happen? Because it surely did not have anything to do with the protests. And if you want to really put the Patriots in line with what sharded their relationship, no, we had nothing to do with it. It's totally the emotional choices and instability of Travis Jure. He shows it every time he's down there. He, again, thinks it's okay to come in and make his threats, being the little keyboard warrior that he is. And again, the time of redemption and the accountability is at hand. you're earning yourself a RICO charge very, very quickly, Travis.
Could you explain to the non-Americans in the chat what a RICO charge is? I'm aware of it, but could you just educate?
Context is I'm not going to call it read directly from the law direction, but I'm going to bring up a connection that it was intentionally brought up or used in the direction of the mafia.
Yes.
We're going to talk Al Capone. We're going to talk about prohibition and that manner of, again, financial money, or how's the same word I want to take this? I want to take it in the manner of what the consequences just as much are. Is I have read to the T, to my understanding, is you have to be convicted of 2 of them. You don't just get one RICO charge. You have to get them back to back. And in any way, each RICO charge or racketeering is equivalent to a 20-year prison sentence, a $25,000 fine, and I do also believe it comes with a seizure, that the government can take your home, they can take your car, they could take your family assets that are attached. So go back into he's writing a check that he cannot cash. He is throwing his life away by his choices, and he thinks it's funny. Going back to the emotional state, rescue swimmer, as he calls himself, Travis, I've rescued more children than you have. You, again, are not a rescue swimmer. And again, you can go ahead and make your decisions because you're going to be accountable for them. Thought process just as much. The level of severity that I put back out, because I'm going to connect into, I throw out that term RICO charge, and I'm going to shout out Veli Ray, because I kind of want to say, yeah, I just as much got that from him, or got that manner of this is the path that things are going to take. Maybe not immediately, let's just piss them off, but it's the trying to make them think. That's what's important to me. As I threw out the same saying, if we can get even one of these people to think and change their mind, it's going to make things easier, because I still believe that there are so many young people choosing to be down there, and they're choosing to be down there because of lies, fake information, a fake narrative. Secondary direction of where, again, I think the racketeering will be pursued is going to have to do with the early streamers that were down there, were, again, using their TikTok streams. They were using the income that they essentially were making to pay for the protective gear, to pay for the items that were needed to, again, if they got pepper sprayed, if they got, again, something from ICE in manner. So I kind of, again, connect into how it would be pretty easy to go digging and be able to find where this money was received, who sent it, what again it was spent on. Even I don't believe people would instantly receive a donation on TikTok and then be able to just go turn it into liquid cash as much. But in any way, you are able to make digital purchases, and that's what the paper trail entails. That's what, again, is clear as crystal.
Okay, next question I have for you, Brian Tinkerton.
Yes, sir.
When was, or what was the first time meeting up with Tommy? What was that like?
That first night, I again just remember Tommy had his phone. Tommy was there doing his stream. I didn't immediately pry for kind of account information, or, again, who are you as a digital presence. Again, I'm going to draw that imagery that I might have just been that crazy man in front of him, this guy in a wetsuit, again, black bow tie. I was just as much there to watch, there to be able to, as said, again, I wanted to be able to be there in the example that Katie, Honey Badger, Ryan had been documented left and right going through attacks, assaults. I'm going to, again, also say I have respect for T-Sply because that is where I saw some of the first footage of Portland. Again, the YouTube videos and what was shown, and that's the same thing that intrigued me. I kind of again worked from that point of we lost Charlie Kirk, and Tommy was there with his Freedom T-shirt. That was to the T. That was like Patriot. Again, that's someone I want to stand by. That ability that we exchanged, like we exchanged names. Again, I think in any way I was going to a point where I was trying to protect myself. So I'll try to say early off, I was telling people to call me Vincent, a vampire of the night from Final Fantasy VII.
Okay, I knew I heard that. That name was familiar.
There's your little context. Again, I throw out a lot of gaming references. I'll just also throw back how hardcore I'm a gamer. I love digital content, which I guess I haven't even gone into this, because to step just into, again, the passion for tech, the ability to walk away from the lifeguarding job, and again, being hey, I should have gone to the Coast Guard. I moved into tech support. I moved into consumer support. My first direction was with Sprint Nextel. So I was working for one consumer support. People would call me to activate their phones, pay bills, such and such. And then I moved into corporate level. So I started working with, again, big businesses, and there were days that I'm blessed. I was very, very happy, but it can be overwhelming when you're handed like a sheet of a couple hundred equipment numbers, and you're not on the phone, but you're sitting there doing this repetitive action of throwing in equipment numbers and activating those pieces of equipment on the right phone number. Because if you make one little fumble, the whole thing, it topples. It topples like a house of cards. So there was this manner I'll try to put out of I spent days on times sitting there working through these pages of equipment listings, equipment identification numbers, getting these pieces of equipment or operational or activated for construction companies, again, corporate businesses. And anyway, being able to then call them and say, okay, it's all done. Again, we need these individual users who have them to call us up. And at that point, again, they should only have to turn the phone on, charge it up, turn the phone on, and then be able to, again, start setting up voicemail and other issues like that.
Yeah.
But let's see. And I'm almost I hope not to land it there. The secondary just direction, again, is going to be I was able to move from that call center work with cell phones. And my last position in a call center was with a contracted Microsoft Xbox subcontractor job. I was part of the retention team in 2011, and I'm going to use this as the landmark of PlayStation Network went down. And I had so many calls coming in saying, hey, I want to stop paying for Xbox. I want to go play PlayStation. Well, again, the day that I was able, or not just day, because it was like a week long. In any way, being able to tell these people, hey, do you understand PlayStation Network is down? Do you understand the way that it works is not as secure as Microsoft? And that's one of the difference. That's the example that I will tell people. If you look in the history, again, put back out, we again have seen another outage take place from PlayStation. So think of, again, how it works. Make your choices accordingly is all I can say. Spend your money wisely. Trying to relate to Tommy. I hope not. Again, I relate to Tommy in the example that he was a phone experience. So there was just as much this resounding, this is a brother, that freedom shirt, being out there that night, two nights. And again, I stayed home that night when he was getting kicked. These people, again, think that Tommy's the first one that did anything wrong. No, this man was standing there trying to capture the truth. And in any way, at that point, he's getting kicked from behind. He puts his phone in his pocket. He squares up. And that's, again, why we call him TKO Tommy. He's not just done it once. He's done it twice.
Why is simply leaving?
Mm,
Stay simply. One thing that is completely unforgivable about Travis, I don't know if you are aware, but there's a young man, a child actually,
yes,
Rylan.
yes.
He's a teenager. He's been experiencing a literal harassment campaign, you know, cyber trolling, cyberbullying by alts that people are claiming are Travis. Travis is obviously not going to admit to it, but what's your take on this? Uh, what kind of person would harass someone who
to
could
to harass
be
a
the age of his
child
child?
to harass a child like that is just it's abysmal character. Again, to believe that he can deny those actions, I'm going to try to connect into that. I believe I'm seeing some of those troll accounts, and that's the one manner of how someone who again is so emotionally unstable can't accept what they're doing. They want to sit there and hide behind their keyboard warrior multiple accounts. They'll again lose one account, they'll jump on another. And I go in not to immediately blame the platform, it's the tools, because I still think there need to be better tools that help the users. I kind of just say I hope that Elon will make some better changes in what we're seeing. The fact that we have to sit there and mass report Travis's accounts.
Mhm.
Same example that I think it's really funny that he doesn't accept what he is doing. And again, Travis, if you're such a technical retard, yeah, maybe you're paying for a VPN, a virtual private network. But if you're too stupid to think that a VPN is actually a security tool, it's not. If you don't
It's not. Yeah.
control both ends of that, you do not have security, you fool. All we need is freaking X to provide the IP addresses to legal law enforcement, and this little crybaby goose is going to be cooked. That's what I'm just as much praying for. I guess I hope to just say, Elon, we need some better moderation, and I still think huh it's the comparison, if I may, of again like AOL, Yahoo Chat. Let's go to there just for a second. As in anyway,
Mhm.
Yahoo Chat is kind of a direction I think people would knowledgeably know there were some bad shit on that. Again, connecting in the same manner to AOL, and this is just trying to point out that we need moderation tools that protect our youth, protect our children getting on the internet. Because I'm gonna use the example of so many young people in Portland are down there and they don't know the truth. They either lie about it, they sit there and just deny it. But it comes back down to what I call emotional stability, because some of these young children, again, for them to be calm, for them to be under control, for their parents had to hand them a cell phone. I'm taking a step back, that again, in my time as a call center agent, don't tell me that it was not possible for a little child that gets a hold of the cell phone and has worms or has something. Those phones still connect to like 911, or if you dial 611, they will make phone calls to the service provider. They will make phone calls to emergency 911. And that's the context. That there again was, in my experience, phone calls that I was trained on, of, oh, all we hear is just noise. Well, again, that's a baby chewing on a phone, for example. And
Mhm.
I'm trying to just wrap this just as much into that. The world is not, we can't go back from the internet. Again, it's the example of
100%.
I'm going to say a Pandora's box that's already been opened. And again, we need the correct systems, the correct tools to train people, or to make sure people understand how to use it. Throwing back out that the situation of before I got to touch the internet, I had to earn myself an internet driver's license. That's one of the things that the teacher sat down and again made us do our little test and say what is okay, what's not okay. And I'm going to kind of say I almost think we need something like that. That we need this
Mhm.
manner of you need to prove you're going to act accountable, responsible, not just a little child, Travis, keyboard warrior, because that's what he thinks he's getting away with. And in any way, we'll take the same stance of there's accounts, there are people down there that we are seeing. They're making threats against federal agents. They're again threatening the families, the children, again, financial property. And it's again, we need law enforcement to act accountable or to act on this, not just think that it's a joke. And having that, okay, that's disgusting, Travis. In any way, the manner of some sort of sexual, and that's it's deviance. It's again demon ideology. It's deviance that want to again bring up anything reference when it comes to a child, when it comes down to being derogatory to a woman down there, and it's downright abysmal. So the same thing, Travis. Again, we're gonna love being able to take a clips from these videos. Trying to make sure I'm jumping back to riding side by side with Tommy as I have been able to do right now. I'm going to just rehash the manner of, again, when I've been hungry and I've been like, hey, Tommy, can I have something? Again, it's 2 thumbs up. It's do what you got to do. The resources are there. And this man has supported me in every manner and every level of continuing. I go back into how the people that I've been down there with, there is never a time that I will watch someone be left alone. Again, if there is a call out, I will respond. I'm going to throw out governess. Again,
All right. Yeah, I know her.
She was assaulted. Again, the manner that, again, someone has to put a blowhorn in her face. That's, again, downright accountable, disrespectful. And I was right there kind of when it happened. The goal that I'm going to totally admit to, the girl that was right on top of governess, I grabbed her by the jacket and just started pulling her backwards, pulled her right off of governess, ended the fight. And in that same manner, Travis, I won't be the one to throw the first, but I sure will end it. And I know my biceps are bigger than your mouth. Sorry for that, but
well, I do know that women like Jesse feel safe when they have you around. So you are somebody who is a security blanket, you might say. So
a watcher.
A watcher, yeah. So someone like Travis, I don't know, would he have the guts to confront someone like you, with the cameras off? I doubt it. I doubt it.
The problem comes with how bold they are, because they can't deal with a one-on-one. We've seen it time and time again. Again, the context of what we've heard tonight, and I'm going to go back that I got a little emotional hearing that it's any of the Patriots. Again, whether it's a face that I recognize or not, that again, somebody is being hurt down there. And I feel, again, I want to respond. I want to show up. It's the whistle as the lifeguard in my head that's blowing, because I had to deal with it left and right. I had to be doing my business. I'm going to say again, as a lifeguard, we have to be like janitors. We have to be concessions. And then we have to be a safety net out there on that pool deck. And again, in any level of safety that you think that you are, Travis, when you again think it's okay to make the threats, to again engage in harm, engage in threats against someone's life, that is not becoming of anything as a rescue, as a responder. I kind of want to call it my core. Again, it's just as much, it's core memory. There we go. I think I've used that terminology before. It's what makes your personality, again, what you build yourself on. And I want to go back into, again, standing by Jesse, standing by any of the beautiful Patriot women, again, the brothers down there too. There's no way, when again I am side by side, that I will just watch a beat down. In the example that I've had it happen to me to that point, yeah. Turned it into, again, that I was afraid the day I was attacked, it was going to be a ground and pound. It was going to be them trying to trip me up. And then again, they were going to try to, again, multiple hits at once was my biggest fear. It's the example, again, anybody who's seen that September 6th conflict or that attack, that's the fear in my eyes. Again, yes, I turned and ran when I was pepper sprayed, and it's that same fear that they have this mentality to try to get you alone. They cannot fight one-on-one. They are not real men. They are emotional, unstable children that just can't freaking get past their own bad decisions.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I'm just laughing. I'm just laughing at the comments in the chat. People are basically lighting up Travis.
To the community. We're roasting him again. You're boiling in a pot, Travis. Again,
you're boiling in a pot.
Once that water's gone, you're sitting in a frying pan, and again, you're just going to get cooked. And thought process goes back to it again. I'm going to try to say how COVID, again, it changed our businesses. It changed the law enforcement direction. Summer of love in that context to what we saw happen. And our law enforcement, again, is they're neutered. That's the half of it. And it's ridiculous. The ability for someone who shows so mentally unstable, this guy needs to be in a straitjacket in the Oregon State Hospital in reality. And again, that's
so. Kamala, you were asking for a picture of Travis.
There you go.
This is Travis. Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
No worries.
Tinkerton.
100%. I got no problem. Again, somebody wants to come do a song and dance in front of our cameras. I got no problem. Again, Travis, show us the clown that you are. Honk your nose for us, please, because all you're doing is being part of a circus. That's what you are. You're a clown show. I like that, Fritter. I like that quote.
So I see that he's been getting donations, but this looks like it's a different GoFundMe from the one Mrs. Jur has set up. This is one to fight ICE fascists in Portland and Shiba Inu. Specialty care for Shiba Inu. I'm guessing that's Travis's.
It's a dog. I would assume in that sense, yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes, Tinkerton. Sir. What do the Patriots have planned tomorrow? Could you remind me? There's an event happening in Salem.
Right? And I'll tell you, it's all across Oregon. I kind of want to put in that.
All right, yeah.
Let's see here. Context is going to just be that, again, the state capital being Salem. I'm gonna leave it at the context being that there are multiple gather points across Oregon that people are coming to. Same context, and I'm trying to even make sure I remember it. I want to put out that we know that there's just as much. Tomorrow's the 19th. We know that there's going to be an event just as much on the 20th, and it's because of the Democrats, because of the anti-ICE. It turns into that I want to believe, or I'm interpreting it, that they want to walk off their jobs. They want to, again, shut down our businesses, an example. And again, interrupt or cause an interruption kind of to the economic day-to-day living. The comparison is going to be, again, I have to throw out, I think that tomorrow is just as much us trying to get action because of the destruction that they want to cause to our government, because of, again, what I turning it into taxes, turning it into the same level of giving it away and destroying stuff. And I'm trying to focus on that same level of the federal building. Do you really think that, again, one individual is going to pay for that? No, it's going to be the businesses. It's going to be the apartment buildings. And how do landlords or businesses do that. They do it by upping their prices. They do it by, again, putting that cost on the customers. And that is just going to continue to lead to the downfall of downtown Portland. I would try to explain that again. Portland used to be the nightlife. Portland used to be go downtown, go to the club, go hang out with your friends. There was the ability to hang out until like 1 o'clock. Again, in high school, I used to go to the dance clubs with my high school buddies, be able to come home at 1 o'clock without any issue. Not in any location direction, but I'll throw out that the one night that Costin, we love you. I'm not trying to put you in insult, but the night that Costin locked his keys in his car and Nick Sorter popped the door lock, I was out too late and I had to walk home. So it's not a fun experience. And I'm trying to explain how that ability to, again, travel the city, go from the area that I'm going to call it never sleeps. I'm not saying that there aren't noise ordinances that have to be followed. But again, the businesses have been being destroyed down there. The residential areas are being destroyed. And I want to focus that I believe that's what we're calling out tomorrow. Again, I am working to be part of a carpool that's going to be going down to Salem and being able to make our voices heard to our officials. We do need numbers to people who are aware of those locations. Again, please feel free to come join that, make your voices heard. And the same example is going to really come into it, as I've turned and said before. If we can't communicate and we can't coexist, nothing's going to change. It's that there is this manner of, I think, us as taxpayers, political direction doesn't matter. It comes down to what you choose to do. That's who we don't want to see down there. We don't want to see these disgusting terrorists, again, thinking that it's okay to do what they're doing and the manner that they're going to take it to, again, other businesses, because they can't affect ICE. Not a single one of these protesters have stopped someone from being deported. They've just thrown a temper tantrum because of it.
No, you're totally right. And what time do you tend to go live and speak?
I know I'm intending that the event's going to be 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, is my understanding. Again, I do 100% intend to be broadcasting and be live on my X. As you were showing for a moment, I'll just again say back out, all my calling cards are on my website.
Let me go back to it. Yeah, I have it right here.
And again, that's my self-hosted website. I have to brag. Again, T1NK3R.com. It runs on all of my hardware. I guess I mean to say it's not something that I just rent. It is something that I, again, have the ability to touch, program, control. Again, yes, the software is free, open source. Again, web design, an example. I'm going to shout out Techno Tim, because that's where I got that from. And again, being able to run that from my own computers, it's just like you're coming to visit and knocking on my front door, Boq, with that. So I'll put back out all of my YouTube. I got to double check Twitch, because we'll try to see if that's going to be recoverable. But again, my Twitter is all there on that website. Again, T1NK3R.com. So I'm very thankful for people who just as much want to see my past gaming videos. My time as a gamer is right now on YouTube. All of my political content right now is aimed to remain on Twitter and on X. And that's where I will be live streaming.
Nice. Okay, Tinkerton, do you have any final words or messages, or any ideas about your long-term goals with your streaming, et cetera, et cetera?
My dream, my direction, and what I want to move forward from this is just as much to pray that we see. I'm going to really say I want the Insurrection Act. I want that to be just finalized. I want it to be dropped. It comes back down to that Kristi Noem came out. We wanted the military then. We're waiting to see that President Trump drops that Insurrection Act, and it's not even going to be just President Trump saying that he's going to do it. It's also coming from Tom Homan. I am praying that once we can see that happen, we see some, again, accountability and some forces that will take care of these terrorists, these people, again, who are destroying our city. But it's going to be, I, again, want to continue to be, I'm going to say, being in political content, I'm trying to remain connected to the Patriots as much as I can and say, what can we continue to work on? And I do know that, again, the example of tomorrow, coming out to these rallies, being able to meet some of these people that are running for office, that's where I kind of intend to surround myself next to trying to continue to do some IRL. And I guess it's going to be, I'm going to just call it digital content creation. I love learning some kind of AI situations. I've been playing with it myself a bit. And we're just also going to say we love Fixer while we're here for a moment. But the connection is what I don't want to lose, no matter how far apart we are, the Patriots. And again, even you, Boq, to make sure we can continue to kind of grow those tools. I put myself out there, I guess to say I'm trying to sell myself as that tech geek who can try to show some solutions to people who want to learn and expand.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm out of questions. I don't have any more questions. If there's anything you want to answer from the chat, go right ahead. Chat is moving so fast. Even me, as speed readers, having a hard time keeping up. But,
something that I would add in, because it comes back down that last night I had somebody in my chat questioning, should they come down? And I'm not discouraging any new faces. I want to see new Patriots down there. I want you to just be aware there is very much volatility. I think the manner is tonight we saw it, that someone, again, was attacked. We need to figure out what happened, what's going on. Pray for this individual. I'm going to try to say, Patriot community, I'm just as much believing we need to see what happens, and we might need to help this individual, because I think it's a new face. I just don't have the full context and the timing of doing this interview and then or being able to respond. But I go back to say there is love to that man, that he is okay, that we need to get some information and find out, and believe that if there's anything that can be done to help this person, if there's severity in his injuries, it's going to be put out there. So be watching for that.
All right, Tinkerton, you know what? Thank you so much. I think we hit past my goal, which was about 45 minutes to an hour interview. You've been very, very open. I appreciate you basically sharing who you are with our audience. A lot of our audience are the same. And this is your website. You should also try multi-streaming on YouTube. Get your YouTube numbers up.
I do want to work on that. I'll tell you that last night's stream, again, is using my own restreaming direction. Again, I now believe that, okay, it's stable to that point. So I'm going to look at starting to add some additional platforms. I think the first goal is to get Rumble as my secondary multi-stream, and then be able to try to, grow back into YouTube. Maybe look to go back to Twitch to a point. And obviously there's other gaming sites like Kick. I do want to try to make sure if my systems are firing on all cylinders, we're going to start trying to grow that reach and be able to continue to get that visual out there again, so people can know the truth, not be being lied to.
Yeah. All right, Tinkerton, you know what? I'm going to let you go. I don't think I have any more questions. I appreciate everyone in chat. You know what, Travis, even you, thank you for the engagement.
Thanks for the free ad revenue. Thanks for the headspace, because it's so spacious. And those delusional tears, very delicious. Again, thank you, Boq. We're going to be in contact. Thank you to the Boq Precision community. Thank you to the Patriots. Again, people who have watched this live and people who are watching it after the fact. Thank you for, again, all the connection, the support, and again, just keeping people knowing what's going on. It's been a pleasure, and we'll go ahead and call it for here. Thank you, Boq.
Peace. Thank you. Okay. All right. So that was Tinkerton. I feel so relieved because he was somebody I asked way back in the day for a one-on-one, and this was before I even established a good friendly dynamic. Now that I know he's a solid guy, off the camera, he is. I'm telling you, he is. I feel good. So thank you, Tinkerton. Thank you, Tommy. If it wasn't for Tommy, none of this would have happened, right? So in the end, thank you, Tommy, for opening me to this reality, you might call it. There'll be more to come. You heard Tinkerton. They have an event planned for tomorrow, Salem. Now I'm just going to read some comments. Travis acts like a goofball in chat too. Yeah, he not only does he act like a goofball, he self-incriminates like a mofo. Like, this guy is a pure nihilist, man. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. Yeah, it's funny trolling him though. But I like the questions asked. Hogwatcher, you made an appearance after being AWOL. Suri, thank you. Travis is like, Tinkerton, you're a mid-IT guy at best. Simply Solo, I appreciate the interview, but I couldn't follow any of the rambling. Sorry. Yeah, a lot of this is insider baseball. People that I haven't met, but because of my restreaming activities, I know who Tinkerton is talking about. Foothills, good to see you. Travis, you're a man with... Yeah, this is one of my funniest chats. I'm just enjoying reading the comments. Kamala, you weren't able to follow much. If you watch enough of the Portland Ice Facility streams, a lot of these names become familiar. Tinkerton, you'll maybe attend DEF CON talks in the future, Baldy. They'll be at your local truck stop soon. Uh-oh. TJ will sleep with the fishes. Hey, no death threats in the chat, guys. Tinkerton, but you'll never understand if because you're inbred as F. You know who else is inbred? The elite who run this realm. Yeah, I heard Spider Mike is at Patriot Corner. That guy actually banned me from his chat after me being so hospitable to him in my chat. Fuck that guy. Boq, ask why Travis won't respond to giving me 101 when I go up there. Yeah. Why do you not respond to Chris out of date, Travis? Fear something? Ivor, the British person in chat. Baseball is basically like your cricket. You know what baseball is. Anyways, guys, I'm going to end this stream. If there's any interesting spaces, whatnot, I might go back live. I hope this was entertaining, beneficial, etc., etc. More one-on-one interviews like this to come. I put Tinkerton's website in the description box. Follow him in all the listed platforms. Peace.